Hello friends, welcome to Salesforce CMAtics video session 121. So basically in today's video, we will actually go through the complete recap or revision of recipe. What are the nodes which we use in recipe and how they are helpful. So just like the way in the previous session we did it for data flow, the same we will follow today for recipe section. So firstly, let me go to Analytics Studio. From here, let me go to the data manager, manage data flow, and here probably I will go for the data flow and recipe. And maybe I can just open one of the session to explain you. I think maybe I can open session 5, I guess, where I think I've created a few derived fields as far as I can recollect. Okay, it's fine. We have the join, that is also fine. So firstly, what you have to understand is the UI is completely different from what we have in data flow, right? So on data flow, just like you have all the nodes present and you have the namings over there as well. So example, if I open one of the data flow, okay, so I have all the top nodes and I can easily see the name. Okay, it's already intact. Okay, on the top. But on recipe side, it's a complete different interface. And here, of course, you have to ensure that you click on this add input data whenever you open any recipe. So once you click on the add input data, this is where you have to actually extract the data. This is where the extract becomes. This is the first step itself, where you kind of, if there is so just like on data flow side, you have three different nodes of SFTC, digest, and HMart. Here you can actually go by that filter. So when you click on add input data, you can go by the filters, and whichever object from where you want to bring in the data, you can select that object. I think we have walked through in details. That is fine. And other than that, so once you do that, there will be this kind of a direction button, you can say, fine, on which if you click it, you will have this two section called connect and add branch. Fine. So basically, if you want to connect, you can do that over here, and if you want to add the branch, you can do that over here as well. Fine. So what happens with the transform node? So basically, the transform node is something where we can actually firstly kind of create any derived field, that is for sure. But as the name suggests, any kind of transformation which you want to do, you can do it all over here. So for example, if you want to create any custom formula, if you want to trim it, if you want to change to uppercase, lowercase, or if you want to change from text to number or some date, fine. If you want to format the dates, if you want to bucket, so we understood the bucket. So just like, and especially if you want to create any formula, you also have this option of multiple row formula. So basically, if you want to do the calculation across the rows, if that is something which is needed, you can actually make use of this enablement of multiple row formula under the transform node. So just like in data flow, you have different kind of nodes like compute expression, compute relative, flatten node. All these things can be done at one go with this one particular node, which is the transform node. So everything gets plugged together over here. Fine. That's the thing about transformation. So basically, the flatten, the creation of new derived fields, ensuring you do the calculation across the rows. If you want to, that you can go for enable multiple row formula. Fine. And other than that, if there are some specific things like bucketing, and you want to change to lowercase, uppercase, or if you want to trim a bit here and there, also if you want to rename certain column names, right? So there are certain column names, so like after, let's say, the join, somehow the right part of it got appended. Let's say on the right you have account and you have written account dot name. If you want to rename that to like account space name, okay, instead of account dot name, you can do that by edit attribute. So all these functionalities can be done through the transform node. Fine. And other than transform node, you have this filter node. Fine. So basically, filter, I think I've walked through. So basically, you can just simply add the filters, okay, which is fine. So you can filter out on whatever fields you want to select, and that can easily be done. Fine. That is one thing. Here, you don't have to worry about the use SQL, and without use SQL, you can directly do it via point and some conditions are there which I haven't walked through, where we might need to add custom expression. I am currently not able to think of such use case scenario, but yeah, once I get to know it, maybe I can explain you in recipe. This is a standard way of using it, but and also if you want to add the custom expression, that part also you can do over here. Okay, for example, like let's say I think we already had one of that. Let me check. Just a moment. This is free session 3, free session 4. Free session 1 is it? Yeah, so basically, the way you can do this filter, okay? So I guess for some reason it is not opening. Let me just refresh it once. Yeah, so this was a simple one. Okay, it does not equal also. You can do it over here. Then you have this filter 3. So as you can see here, you can just change the expression if you want. Fine. And what I was talking about is, you can remove the filter logic. You can add some custom expression if required. So this custom expression part, so this is a standard expression which we have used. There's a different way where you can use some case when you can write custom expression. Currently, I think I will walk in one of the session if I get some use case scenario. Fine. But more or less, it's simple, the filters which we have on Dataflow where you don't have to worry about, the SQL part and everything. Everything will be taken care by a point and click. Okay, that's the beauty of this thing. Okay, it's fine. And after that, what we have is basically, so if I click over here, after that, what we have is the aggregate node. So basically, aggregate means if you want to do the summation, or if you want to do the average of amount, everything, if you want to do at one go, that part you can do it directly on the data layer. Something which is a bit difficult to do on the data flow side. Fine, and I don't think so. I walk through one scenarios where I have done it already on the aggregate on the data flow side. But yeah, if you want to do the summation of amount at one go on the data layer, you can make use of the aggregate node. That's the thing about this aggregate node. Fine. And of course, we haven't walked through this part which is related to discovery, okay, which is the instant discovery predicate. And I am not sure about this prior billing schedules as of now, but yet to get some information I can put it. I think mostly it's related to discovery part only. And then of course you have the join. So this is very important. The main thing in recipe is the join part, and you have to ensure that you know all the kind of joins which you have. Okay, so yeah, just give me a moment. So basically all the kind of joins which you have starting from lookup, and what is the difference? I think that is the same what we have on data flow. Then the left join, the right join, inner join, outer join, cross join. So all the different kind of joins is something you have to be very careful, because when you are building the dashboard, you have to understand like how you can bring all the unique of account IDs, okay? Or if you want to, if the client wants to see the exactly the count of opportunities or account, how you have done the join, where it can exactly showcase you on the data set. So this becomes very important, okay, that you're doing a VLOOKUP kind of a thing, but you have to ensure how that is being done and how some extra rows are getting added all the time. I think we have walked through in details when I explained you the joins, okay, so you can definitely watch that. It's a showstopper kind of a video, and you will get to learn a lot, okay. And yeah, of course, then after that we have the append. So this is quite similar to what we have on the data flow. The only difference is through append, actually at one go you can use that one node on the data flow, but here you have to append it one by one. Okay, that is something you must have seen over here when we walked through one of the examples where I had appended three nodes at one go by using one particular append node, but here it has to be taken differently. Okay, so that's the thing about this append node. And I think in append node you don't have different kind of nodes. Yeah, you can go for this map all columns. So there are two kind of append nodes in recipe. One is by eliminating map all columns. Another one is disabling one. I think that is something which you know right now. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. And finally you have the update node. It is same thing what we can do on the data flow side. That's not an issue. And then at the end of the day you have something called as the update node. Okay, sorry, not update, this is the output node. So through that output node, just like you have the SFDC register, through the output node, of course, whatever the SFDC register is doing on data flow, that same thing that output node in recipe also does. But additionally you can also write it to the CSV file and data set as well, output connection as well. Okay, some output connection which you cannot do through data flow, isn't it? So yeah, that's the thing. That is something you can do via this output node. Fine. So yeah, that is more or less about this. And of course, one great thing is that on data flow side, you always have to, like, if you want to kind of ensure that it's kind of properly, the flow is coming properly, you have to download this auto arrange layout separately on Chrome. Okay. But on Recipe, one good thing is that you can directly clean up the nodes. Okay. You don't have to depend on any um, external kind of downloading, like on the Chrome browser. You don't have to download any stuff, and it can work beautifully because inbuilt it is already there, right? And if you want, you can download the recipe or upload the recipe the way like we did. And these are some of the extra things where if you select it, if you want to copy it, cut it, so these are all like help you to leverage the build of recipe in a faster pace. That's it. And just like on data flow side, so just like on data flow side, we have the version history and everything. You can refresh the previews. You can disable the previews over here. Sorry, just like in on data flow, you have version history. You have similar thing over here. Additionally, you have the settings where you can refresh the preview. So there are a few previews which you can see instead of directly seeing on the dataset side. So if you want to just cross check that, that is something you can do it easily from here. You can save, and you can save and run as well. Fine, save as new recipe as well from here, and from here you can directly navigate back to data manager as well. Okay, so yeah, this is more or less about this whole thing of recipe. Fine. So you have to remember, you have that add input data over there. You have some extra functionality, and after that, and also while joining, you have to ensure how you want to join it. Okay, something we have walked beautifully, all the things. So yeah, and what all the things which transform nodes, just a filter node, the aggregate nodes, the join does. Okay, that and does. So I think with the add input data, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, eight other 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, eight nodes are there total, right? And basically, if you include this one, it becomes to 10. But yeah, the eight nodes I have walked you through properly, and those are the main things. So yeah, you have to ensure the difference of this, how the append is done. Okay, and how can you do some complex filter calculation, or how that aggregate can be applied, and a transform, what are the different functions. We have learned a lot of functions, right, on the recipe section. So yeah, that's more or less about it. And the beauty of recipe is something which you cannot do in data flow is, you cannot transfer data to some other external connections, right? That is something which can beautifully be done over here. So yeah, that is more or less about recipe. I hope you have understood whatever we have covered. And yeah, that's it about this video. Nothing much to cover. So yeah, just wanted to give you a complete recap of all the notes which we use in recipe. So yeah, thank you.